To talk about the exhibition I organized, let me show you a video of it. A video I made for the community in which the artist residency in which we organized the exhibition is also called Germinal. And this is the video that we did. It's going to be in French. It's going to be my voice in French. You'll hear me speak French, okay? Don't get mad in chat. Just enjoy it. Act as if you actually enjoy French. But the important thing is to actually look at the artworks that have been present.
Jeudi le 24 août à 17h, il va y avoir le vernissage de l'exposition Détournement. On en parle avec Charles Grenier, youtubeur aussi, créateur de projets artistiques. Premièrement, est-ce que tu peux nous rappeler qu'est-ce que tu as créé du côté de Newport? Parce que c'est vraiment dans le but de mettre l'accent sur tout ce qui est création artistique, on pourrait dire dans la MRC du Rocher-Percé.
Oui, tout à fait. J'ai acheté l'ancien presbytère de Newport pour en faire une résidence d'artistes. En ce moment, on loue des ateliers à des artistes locaux, une de Grande-Rivière et une de Powell Mills. Ça leur donne un espace de création. On a aussi invité le chanteur Philemon Simon qui a donné un show de salon justement dans notre salon. On a fait une performance avec une artiste aussi locale, Joël Henry. Et puis là, le 24, on a une exposition, on a un vernissage où on a invité les artistes de la région, des artistes gaspésiens, à détourner des œuvres d'art. Ça veut dire quoi, détourner des œuvres d'art? Ça veut dire prendre des œuvres d'art qui sont du passé ou du présent et les approprier pour faire des nouvelles œuvres d'art. Et dans ce processus-là, il peut avoir soit peut-être un hommage ou une critique. Ça peut être les deux. Il y a des gens qui vont prendre des œuvres qui vont être peut-être plus commerciales ou touristiques et ils vont se les approprier, faire une autre œuvre avec elles pour critiquer le fait que très souvent, les œuvres d'art sont faites pour d'autres personnes que les Gaspésiens. Parce que beaucoup, en tout cas, ça c'est ma vision, vous allez avoir d'autres visions justement, mais très souvent, on a des œuvres qui sont faites pour autrui. Il n'y a pas beaucoup d'œuvres en Gaspésie qui sont faites pour des Gaspésiens, parce qu'elles sont faites pour se faire vendre à des touristes. Fait que je me suis dit, ça pourrait être une bonne façon de s'approprier ces œuvres-là, puis d'en faire des œuvres gaspésiennes pour les Gaspésiens, puis créer une conversation justement sur c'est quoi une œuvre d'art, c'est quoi de l'art, de l'artisanat, c'est quoi une œuvre d'art gaspésienne. Si elle est faite pour autrui, est-ce qu'elle reste gaspésienne? Si elle n'inspire pas des conversations gaspésiennes, est-ce que l'image du Rocher-Percé, c'est une image gaspésienne ou est-ce que c'est juste un autre item commercial fait à la chaîne? Fait que c'est ça en fait qu'on pose comme question.
It's Mickey Mouse Man. Aside from the voice, that's my voice. It looks super cool. You actually look like the Mickey Mouse. All right, that was it. That was a little video. You want to see, for those who don't know, Mickey Mouse. People really liked it. This here. Apparently that's me. Oh well, okay. You'll get used to it. One day you'll get used to the fact that I don't have long hair anymore and that I'm bald. All right, yeah, we're talking about the exhibition. I organized it in my living room. And we've talked about this exhibition for the longest time because it was the first exhibition in our gallery space, and I wanted it to be noteworthy. I wanted it to be to start a conversation, which is something I keep talking about when I talk about art, and in our day and age, I want art to start conversations. I want art to confront us in some values that we have or some ideas that we have. And the first thing I want to confront people with through this exhibition was the idea of what art is, especially in relation to our territory and our culture in Gaspésie. I'll show you in what region of Canada I live in. I've talked about how isolated I am, right? So this is Quebec, Eastern Canada. This is Canada. This is Quebec. Montreal is the biggest city in second biggest city in Canada, biggest city in Quebec. Then there's Quebec City, which is the second biggest. It's the capital of Quebec. And we live all the way here in Chandler, which is a solid 8 to 10 hours away from Quebec City, which isn't even the biggest city in and it's only like the whole region here basically lives on this one road that goes across. These roads are like shortcuts, right? Nobody lives on these. Some people live here, but you know, it's rough out there. So most people live on the side here. It's a beautiful region. It's incredible. I love, we were in Percé yesterday, right here. There you go. The Percy Rock. This thing is huge. It's better in person. You can walk to it if you're brave enough. It's really big. It's really nice. And to bring it back to the exhibition I organized, this rock, and in this region, which is very, very remote and far from everything, this rock is often the symbol that every artist and artisan in this region are going to paint, especially people in our region of Percé and Chandler. They paint the rock. They paint the sea. They paint birds flying over the rock and over the sea. They paint waves. They paint always the same symbols and the same landscapes, which represent the region and its beautiful landscapes. The reason why is because, first, these landscapes are associated with the region, but second, because they sell to tourists. As you saw, Percé is pretty much a touristic place, and a lot of the art that's produced there is produced for tourists. Hello, did you always live there or did you move there recently? My grandparents were born here and lived here their whole lives. My parents were born there, they met there, and then they moved to Montreal. That's one of the issues with the Gaspé Peninsula, is that a lot of the young people leave because in Gaspé there's not that much going on, economically and culturally, which is something I've struggled with, and it's one of the reasons why I want to create this project with the residency and the exhibition hall in downstairs. I cannot imagine living in such a small and isolated town, to be honest. I get why people move. Yeah. Well, that's an issue, especially young people move, right? Young people who are looking for more. Young people who are looking for more economic opportunity, but also cultural and, I don't know, just more things to do. And one of the issues that I have with the culture here, or at least the art, is that a lot of the art produced is produced for tourists. It's art that is artisanat, craftsmanship, so, or handicraft. In French, we have art, A-R-T, and artisanat, which is craftsmanship, and or handworker or craft. But the artesanias, as Alzer says, and the line between art and artisanat or artesanias is very fine, right? For example, artisanat is going to be that kind of thing, you know, or that kind of thing. It can be textile as well, which is, it's not bad. It's not, I'm not saying that it doesn't have a place, but there's a difference between this and art, especially in the artistic process of the creation of whatever they're making, right? And I feel like the landscapes that are often produced are more de l'artisanat than they are art, because they conform to a certain standard, a very rigid standard of what a specific landscape needs to be, right? It's like, it's more of a cultural object than art. And I don't know if the idea of cultural object versus art is a good one to like a good distinction to make, or one that you understand. But like this is a cultural object. You know, flannel is actually, like, you know, in Canadian and Quebec culture. Like, I wear it kind of ironically, but it is a cultural object in the sense that it embodies a culture. It might have been even created to embody that culture, but it's not because it's created to embody a culture, or it's created in a very specific cultural context, that it's necessarily art. I hope that makes sense. So a painting of the Rocher Percé, of the Percy Rock, which there are hundreds here. I'm sorry, Sharon Duguay, but to me, this isn't art unless there's a specific artistic development or idea behind this painting. If not, this is a cultural product, a cultural object, in the sense that it's an object that's created within a cultural context that still has value. But to me, it doesn't have artistic value. It has cultural value because it embodies a culture. It doesn't have anything to say in like artistically. It doesn't contribute to a conversation. It doesn't convey ideas and blah, 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 blah. And it's not made to create a conversation. It's not made to convey ideas. It's made out of a tradition, which ties into culture. Anyway, I hope I make my point. That being said, I want to start a conversation between the lines between, let's say, art and this work of art, or this work of artisanat. So the way we did it is we got a total of 11 artists from the region to grab the type of artisanat works. So cultural objects which have lost their artistic quality through their redundancy, cultural redundancy, like the Percy Rock being the thing that's always reproduced, always, all the time, and it loses its edge, right, with time. And we said, all right, take those pictures, these images, take a painting, and turn it into with an artistic process. Make a display of what art is by taking an object that is not necessarily art and giving it intention that goes beyond, I want to sell to a tourist. And we can go back to some of the artworks, right? So here you have Camilla, who took a picture, an old picture of Gaspésie, and added some flames to talk about the burning of Canadian trees. Here you have, I'll talk about these postcards later. It's Karine. This is my friend Laurie, who took small images of mostly the Percy Rock and superposed them to make these abstract figures with the Percy Rock. Either very small or a bit more abstract, we could say here. They're all abstract, but anyway. Then you have Orbi, who's normally an illustrator for, she writes children's books. And here she made lighthouses made in China, and she wrote Percy on them because very often people buy stuff made in China, write Percy on it to sell it to tourists, robbing the identity from these works. Here's a little book that a friend of ours made. That's My House. That's an artist that not that we're hosting, but that has a studio here. This is the singer-songwriter who gave us a show. This is Joël who made a performance. All right, here we'll see it later. That's Rolando, who did a picture collage of plenty. Yeah, there you go. Of all pictures he found on Instagram of the Percy Rock, showing how this is me who did it as well. I did a 18-foot long kind of mural thing with craft paper. It's like 3 foot wide, and I did copy on it hundreds of copies of I will not draw the Percy Rock. I will not draw the Percy Rock. And I wrote it hundreds of times on an 18 feet wide, 3 feet tall thing. It's about 50 people who were there. You don't see them all. People came in, left. Here are some t-shirts that my friend, who is a lawyer for a union, actually made. This is, all right, I'll talk about this later. This is Bali who did this. A little collage on 4 panels, on 4 wooden panels. Again, of the Percy rock, but from different angles, all put together to show the repetition and the loss of meaning that these images can get. Here is, so there's this company who makes t-shirts saying that Gaspésie, they call it Gaspésie Wonderland to show how beautiful it is. And what he did is he did a pastiche of those things, of those t-shirts that say how beautiful Gaspé is. And he added things that, you know, that he wanted to denounce from Gaspésie. Here's the cimenterie, which I've talked about, pollution. This is the big factory or cement plant. There's dying caribou, dying sea mammals. You saw Mickey Mouse in the corner. This is Luba who did this, so a collage with old pictures that she had of Gaspésie. Luba also has an atelier here, a studio. Yeah, those t-shirts are actually awesome. Yeah, they don't just look awesome; they actually are awesome. Look, I'll show you the Gaspésie Wonderland. Yeah, there you go. These are the original t-shirts with, example, the Percy rock with a little boat. I mean, this is really pixelated. You know, with palm trees, which we don't even have natively here. Now this funny thing is, I was looking for détournement ideas. Percy. And then I find out that a guy did this in the 1940s, Alfred Pellan, and it was very phallic. There's always a penis in there. Here's the rock making love to a mermaid. There's a naked lady, again making love to a mermaid, eating a fish, but yeah, a cow here. There you go. There you go. So there's a lot of them. I hadn't even seen all of these. And there's one that's like really interesting that I'm sure you guys are going to like. Oh, can I not find it? Is that it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one you guys are going to like. Okay. So what he did is he took the same postcard of the Percy rock from the 1940s, and he took over 10 of them, and he kind of graffitied on them, which is exactly what we wanted to do for our project. And we didn't even know that Alfred Pellan did that. And so what I did is I photoshopped. Oh, there you go. That's the one that we were looking at. So what I did is I photoshopped the graffiti out. I printed a shit ton of these postcards, and then I told people, do your own détournement. Go like graffiti these postcards of these of the Rocher Percé. That's what I was showing earlier. Now people are looking at the détournement that people did. So now people could détourner their own, and the kids had a lot of fun doing it. It was a lot of fun going back on it and seeing what people did. So yeah, all of that to say, we had a lot of fun, and it was supposed to embody a distinction between touristic, more commercial works or images with art,